So I'm making this video because I already know a lot of people are gonna come out and ask, should we get Sherman? Should we trade for Earl Thomas? And usually I just reply no. But these are two good players, so I think it deserves a video explanation to why we should slash shouldn't get them. Starting off with Sherman, man. I'm a huge Sherman fan. I've been a huge Sherman fan ever since he said, when you put me on a starting receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Like, ever since then, I've been a fan of Sherman. Sherman's one of my favorite players outside of the Texans, and I would absolutely love to have him here. Like, in a perfect world, I would have Sherman here in Houston. And, when I initially heard that the Seahawks were going to cut Richard Sherman, I was like, fuck yeah, bring Richard Sherman to Houston, because I think Sherman's attitude is what we need in Houston. We need more players like Richard Sherman, his style of players, those guys that are kind of mean. I would love to have him in Houston, and obviously we need corners, and Sherman is a proven corner. Or is he? Sherman, by the time the season starts, is going to be 30 years old. Yeah, we could probably squeeze in 2-3 years out of him if we're being realistic, but would you really be willing to gamble on a player that is just coming off a torn Achilles? And I mean, we say it all the time. D'Onta Foreman suffered a torn Achilles. D'Onta Foreman's only like, what, 21? If it's going to be hard for D'Onta Foreman, who's 20, in his early 20s, to come back from a Achilles injury, then how hard is it going to be for Richard Sherman, who is in his 30s? Or he's going to be 30 later this month, in March. And you also got to ask yourself, how much is Sherman going to want? Because yes, we do have a significant amount of cap space, but is Sherman really the best option out there? Like, is he better than Gaines? Is he better than Trumaine Johnson? Better than Malcolm Butler? And I love Richard Sherman, man. I just don't think he's someone the Texans should pursue. And at first, I was like, hell yeah, bring him here. Bring Sherman to Houston. But after some thinking, a little bit of thinking, like not much, thanks to Ray, Ed Honcho, and Mr. Duck, I quickly changed my mind because of the Achilles injury. But I just don't think Sherman is someone we should pursue. That Achilles injury, again, just how I've been saying with D'Onta Foreman, it's a really tricky situation. Now, for the other member from the Legion of Boom, Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas is really interesting, man. I mean, of course, I don't like Earl Thomas as much as Richard Sherman, but I mean, Earl Thomas is a star safety. Earl Thomas covers great. He's a great cover safety. He's, decent stopping the run. He's just an all-around star safety. He's what you want from the safety position. And he's going to be 29 at the start of the season. So he's really not all that old. I mean, we could probably squeeze in like 3, maybe 4 years out of him if we were to trade for him. But that's the issue. Seattle's looking to trade Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas is not going to be a free agent. The Seahawks aren't going to cut Earl Thomas, so if the Texans want to go get Earl Thomas, they have to give some stuff up, and I don't think the Texans right now are in a position where they could give something up for Earl Thomas. The Seahawks said that they have to be blown away. What do the Texans realistically have that they can give the Seahawks that will blow them away in order for them to give us Earl Thomas? I don't think there's anything we really have to offer. I mean, you Lamar Miller. I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna say that, but picture it this way: if Jay Ajayi got traded for a fourth-round pick, well, what is Lamar Miller worth? Lamar Miller is getting paid a lot, or a good amount for a running back, and he's probably not as good as Jay Ajayi, so that should give you a good idea to how much Lamar Miller is really worth. I'd say somewhere around a fifth, maybe a sixth, and I just think that's being realistic. And if the Seahawks are saying they need to be blown away, I don't think a third's gonna do it. So I just don't think the Texans have the right things to offer the Seahawks. But Earl Thomas, dude, I would absolutely love to have Earl Thomas on the team, but I don't think we have stuff to trade them. Earl Thomas would just he wouldn't even fill a need. He'd just make the secondary good. He'd give players confidence because he got Earl Thomas back there having your back, Like, if he was a free agent, by all means, dude, Earl Thomas would probably be the first defensive back I'd target. But trade-wise, yeah, not gonna happen. So, in short, no, we shouldn't go get Richard Sherman, and no, we shouldn't trade for Earl Thomas. But if the Texans do get Richard Sherman, I'd probably be upset, but the little Richard Sherman fanboy I have inside me would be so happy. But realistically speaking, it had to be for the right price. What that price is? Probably around 6-7 mil a year. As for Earl Thomas, if he ends up on the Texans for some reason, again, we would have to give them something that doesn't hurt us, Like, it can't be something that, you fill that hole, but then now you have this hole because you went to go trade for Earl Thomas, Like for example, let's just say, I don't know, the Texans trade Whitney Merciless for Earl Thomas, a straight trade. Great. Now we have a safety. That's awesome. But now we have a hole at an edge rusher spot. You can't do that, so that's the only way I'd be happy if the Texans found a way to get Earl Thomas without creating another hole on the roster. Anyways, guys, comment down below what you guys think of Richard Sherman or Earl Thomas, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.